This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. New year doesn't require a new you. Maybe a less burdened you. Therapy can help you more easily define what weighs you down and what's holding you back by offering an unbiased perspective to better understand your relationships, motivations, and intentions. If you're a regular listener to this podcast, then you know I'm a huge advocate for therapy. I think everyone should try some, even the people who think they don't need some. Friend, BetterHelp has quality therapists that operate with a strict code of conduct. What I love most about BetterHelp is they do the matching work for your therapist for you. So you don't have to search around to find someone. You'll do a questionnaire and they'll pair you with a good fit. But if for any reason it's not a fit, you can switch therapists at any time. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is one of the world's largest online therapy platforms. I love BetterHelp and I love how easy they make it to get help. BetterHelp makes it easy to get matched online with a qualified therapist. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/ratchet. That's better, HELP.com/ratchet. Why did I agree to do this again? When I've lost my direction. Are you recording? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those who don't identify as either, you are watching Ratchet and Respectable. I haven't talked to you in 3 weeks, I think. Last time we spoke, I was still in South Africa. I've been home for 2 weeks. I made it home for Christmas as promised. I'm here for another 3 weeks, and then I have the first of 6 trips that I'm hosting this year for See Some World. I do Ratchet and Respectable, the podcast. See Some World is the travel part of the Demi universe. The first trip is to Marrakesh. I feel like I have things I'm supposed to be updating you about. I'm not moved into my place. I'm probably not going to be able to move in until I think May. Currently, Penny's floors are being redone. I have hardwood floors. They were in one part of the house in the living room, the floors were going in 3 different directions. So we had to tear up the wood and make all the floors go in the same direction, which that part is down. And then they have to stain the floors, and then that takes a couple days to stain. And then they have to dry for a couple days. That's a whole ordeal. So I'm supposed to go up and see my apartment. I'll be in New York this week, I think Thursday to Sunday, but I won't be able to see my place until Sunday because I gotta wait for the floors to dry. And then Penny still needs to be painted. She still needs shower doors. She still needs her wall switches, her electrical outlets. It's a lot of really small stuff. I'm here for another 3 weeks. Penny will be ready in 2 weeks. I leave the end of this month. I'm gone for 2 weeks. I'm back for a week, and then I'm out of the country again for 2.5 months. My designer and I are going to continue to work on the apartment while I'm gone. There will still be various contractors in and out of the apartment doing like the little stuff. I don't want to put all my stuff in the apartment when there are still people coming in and out of it, and I'm not going to be there for literally months at a time. I will schedule my movers to come within a week of me coming back, if not literally 2 days after, and then I will move finally. At that point, it'll be like a year. I would have owned the place for a year and never had a chance to live in it. I thought the whole renovation was going to take like 6 weeks. That was the first number that they gave me, and it has been obviously significantly longer than that. It's only a 2-bedroom condo. I'm trying to make the most of it. But I'm going up to New York. There is a premiere of one of my favorite shows. I've got literally 3 more weeks here, and I have 3 or 4, maybe 5 cities that I need to hit before I go. It's the life I chose. Why? Because I love it. Just sometimes it gets very exhausting. Whatever. But my life is not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about pop culture, entertainment, and a little bit of, I don't know, world events. I asked on Threads, because it's been so long since we did an episode, I asked what people wanted me to talk about, and a whole bunch of people were like, can you talk about Venezuela? And I was like, you need somebody who is well versed in geopolitics to break this down for you. I don't. It's fucked up. Like, I don't know what else you want me to say. I'm not quite sure why we're over there. Our dear leader and our administration have given multiple reasons. They said they wanted to like free the Venezuelan people, and then they said something about like drug trafficking, and like, wait, but you just pardoned the guy who brought in like, I don't know, billions in drugs. So, huh? And then I thought everyone was saying that it was oil. And then I was watching Rachel Maddow last night. And who's the guy that comes on after Rachel? Him too. When they said that Venezuela had like, I don't know, like 18 trillion, something like that in barrels of oil, my understanding was that it was already oil that had been processed. I didn't think they were like the kind of barrels that you put like wine in. That's where my mind goes. I've been in Cape Town, wine country. But like, I didn't think it was barrels like that. But I thought like the oil had already been processed. And they were like, no, it's like still in the land. Like you have to like actually go in and like, you know, build whatever machinery to like get the oil, process the oil, refineries. Maybe that's what it's called, because this is not my lane. But I thought the oil was already ready. And they were like, no, like they have oil, but like you have to like go and dig for the oil. So like to access the oil would be like, you know, 5-10 years like minimum. And I was like, wait, what? So how long we planning to be in Venezuela? And then they're like, oh, we freed the people of Venezuela, which the people of Venezuela seem to be very happy that the dictator who has been oppressing them, killing them, is gone or has been kidnapped by the U.S. government and is now in custody and facing trial in New York. They can be happy that a dictator is gone. We can be happy for them that a dictator is gone. We can also be scared shitless and warning them, you done gone from a frying pan into the fire. Couple things. So America went and stole, because that's what it was. You went and stole the president and first lady of Venezuela illegally. But you left his whole regime in power. So his handpicked number 2, his vice president, is who's currently running the country. And she put out like a video, like, the president you stole is still our president, and we still want him to lead Venezuela. Give us our president back. This is not okay. It's like if you took our current dear leader, J.D. Vance, Stephen Miller, Rubio, Kristi Noem, the little Nazi Barbie, all of them would still be in charge, and they would still be carrying out, while freaking out, all the crazy ish that dear leader has in mind. It's like, yeah, you put dear leader aside, but you're still dealing with all of dear leader's crazy. That did not just happen. It did. Back to Venezuela. I think we just colonized Venezuela. No one's exactly saying that outright. They're not using that language. But dear leader, when he speaks about Venezuela, says that the U.S. is going to run it. And I was like, but Venezuela has a president. Like you stole the president and his wife, who we keep seeing the president. The man went through like 5 outfit changes the day that they took him. We ain't seen the wife, but the wife is definitely with him. I'm like, where's the wife? Like, is she like proof of life? Is she okay? Oh, this is what I was saying about the happiness of the Venezuelan people. I am happy for the Venezuelan people that they are so happy that they got rid of their dictator. I just hope that they understand. And they must. The person who's currently in charge is the number 2 of the dictator that just left. So the dictator is gone, but the regime is the same. So like, I guess they think the number 2 is going to be better than the guy that just got taken, kidnapped, stolen. Because that's what it was. People keep trying to clear it up. They're like, oh, we captured him. No, you kidnapped him. You don't have a right to take him. I mean, was he a terrible person? Should he have been out of power several years ago, a decade ago? Should he have never been in power? Perhaps, yes. And still, I would never tell somebody how to feel about their president, their country, what's going on in their country. You know your country better than I do. If you're happy, I'm happy for you. But can I just tell you from my perspective of the country that has just colonized your country, it don't end well for you. They talking about Stephen Miller, the Jewish neo-Nazi who hates brown people, despite being married to a woman. They say she's Jewish, but I was like, Jewish and what? That lady got some. Have you seen her parents? I need to see the parents. That ain't even like a grandparent's black. One of your parents got deep melanin. Ain't no way she turned out with that deep hue off a grandparent. That's not the point. The point is you're sending the you're sending the Jewish neo-Nazi who hates brown people to oversee a country of brown people. That doesn't end well for Venezuela. So I just hope that they understand just what I said before. You've gone from the frying pan into the fire. So celebrate, yes, but also strategize and rebel, do something, because we fucked and y'all was fucked and y'all about to be like refucked. I don't know where to offer you congratulations, condolences, both. Venezuela, this don't end well. But like y'all about to go through it, babe. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. New year doesn't require a new you. Maybe a less burdened you. Therapy can help you more easily define what weighs you down and what's holding you back by offering an unbiased perspective to better understand your relationships, motivations, and intentions. If you're a regular listener to this podcast, then you know I'm a huge advocate for therapy. I think everyone should try some, even the people who think they don't need some. Friend, BetterHelp has quality therapists that operate with a strict code of conduct. What I love most about BetterHelp is they do the matching work for your therapist for you. So you don't have to search around to find someone. You'll do a questionnaire and they'll pair you with a good fit. But if for any reason it's not a fit, you can switch therapists at any time. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is one of the world's largest online therapy platforms. I love BetterHelp and I love how easy they make it to get help. BetterHelp makes it easy to get matched online with a qualified therapist. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/ratchet. That's better, HELP.com/ratchet. Okay, so Venezuela was one of the things that people asked me to speak about. One of the other things was Richard Smallwood, gospel legend. I was going through my gospel playlist because that's basically what I listened to. I didn't realize how many songs I listened to that were Richard Smallwood. Like I just, play the music that I like. He passed. He was 77 years old. And his funeral services are literally up the street from my house. I think it's First Baptist of Glen Arden. Theoretically, I could probably go, but I would imagine it's gonna be like thousands of people. I'm not trying to stand outside. It's cold. I do have a fur now though. Got a fox for Christmas. It's cute. It's warm. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. If BET is not streaming it, they need to. Like that'd be a ratings bonanza. Didn't they stream Whitney's funeral? I remember watching it. I was in New Orleans for Mardi Gras and it was like pouring down rain outside. Like it wasn't that long after Katrina either. And I was like, should I go to high ground? I mean, we're in the French Quarter. That's not the point. That's not the point. What is the point? Rest in peace to Richard Smallwood. While we are honoring new ancestors, we also must make mention of Isaiah Whitlock Jr. He's known for other things, but that's probably the most popular. He's one of my favorite characters from The Wire. He's also in a bunch of Spike Lee movies. I think he was in the most recent one. Was he? I feel like he was. Don't quote me on that. But rest in peace to him as well. We do have some good Black news this week. Not a lot. The Critics' Choice Awards were last night. Most of my faves did not win. Sinners did go home with 4 awards. Not the big ones, though. They didn't get Best Picture. Ryan Coogler didn't get Best Director. He did get Best Original Screenplay, which was good. I think they also got Best Original Score. They got best casting and ensemble. That's a new category. And Miles Canton, who played the little cousin, he got an award for like best young actor or actress. So congratulations to Sinners for that. But Michael B. Jordan, who played literally 2 people in the same role, did not get best actor, which I was really, really rooting for because I think he's so wonderful and so amazing. I mean, just in general, but also like in Sinners, I watch Sinners over and over and over. I watch right up until the Asian lady yells for the vampires to come inside. So then I can't watch. I start over from the beginning. But I just love the dialogue. I love the scenery. I love Delroy Lindo, who I don't think got nominated for anything for Critics' Choice Awards. I was very upset about that. I went through this in a previous episode, all the things that Sinners was nominated for. But Ruth Carter, Design Phenom, she has a fashion exhibition on display in Philly. I went to see it at SCAD in Atlanta I think 2021 is the same one that's rotating around, but it was really, 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 really good. It's totally worth going if you haven't seen it before. I think when I posted that, those photos went viral. I think that's when I went on the Odyssey the first time. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, just go to Instagram. What's the name of the guy, the little Frenchy boy who won Best Actor? I had to look up his name. I'm trying to do better with names. Timothée, even though he said people can call him Timothy, but his father's French. So technically his name is pronounced like Timothée, not Timothy, but he was like, just call me Tim, call me Timmy, you good. I want to say Chardonnay, that's not his last name. Timothée Chalamet. But he won Best Actor over Michael B. Jordan. And people have been making not really a joke. You have to be twice as good to get half as much. And Michael B. Jordan literally played two characters in the same movie and then still didn't get an award. I saw a picture of him at the award show. And he's a professional, he's an actor, but you could tell he was upset, I think. There were some really good wins though for the award show. Like Janelle, is that her name, from Abbott Elementary? She plays the principal. She won. Tremel Tillman, I still have not watched Severance. He keeps racking up awards. He was the reason I tried to watch the show, and I just, mm-mm, mm-mm. What's her real name? I call her Shiv. Logan Roy's daughter. She was in the show about the little white baby who got kidnapped. A limited series. It was really, really good. Sarah Snook, that's her name. All her fault. That's what it was. It was really, really good. She won. I was very happy for her. But like my boo, Danae Benton, Peggy from The Gilded Age, she didn't win. Carrie Coon, she didn't win. Danielle Brooks, I mean, she lost to Janelle. I wanted her to win, but I also wanted Janelle to win. Like I was fine with that. But there were a lot of good people. Sterling K. Brown, he was up for an award. Paradise as a show was up for an award. Paradise didn't win anything. Also, I was looking at this list and I realized Hijack wasn't on it. Hijack had me in a chokehold. Idris Elba, Hijack on Apple. That show had me in a chokehold for the entire first season. The last 2 minutes of every episode pissed me off every single episode. That was really good TV. And it got no nominations. Idris Elba didn't get a nomination. And I was like, I didn't go through all of the nominations for all the upcoming award shows, but I don't remember Idris Elba's name being on anything. I hope I'm misremembering that. I hope it was an oversight. But I was like, did Hijack get nothing? Nothing? That's good TV. It comes back. I'm getting it confused with Paradise. Paradise comes back in February. Idris Elba comes back later this month. That makes sense because, yeah, it all makes sense in like by the next episode. There was so much we missed over the last 3 weeks, especially over the holidays when I was still gallivanting around South Africa. I kept a list of things to talk about, but there's so much that we have to talk about this week. I don't think I can cover and recap everything. One thing that I do want to mention, I watched Dave Chappelle's stand-up, his new stand-up. I thought it was really, really, really good. I think Dave Chappelle is an excellent storyteller. He had two closers for this stand up. And the way he weaved all those stories together to make a point was just masterful. Like, just, he is, I don't even know if calling him a comedian is the right thing to do. He is top of his game at what he does. I have two big criticisms. One, the jabs that he made at Cassie. The lady has been through enough. I think you should leave her be. Also, his insistence on making trans jokes. Gerard Carmichael called him out about it, before he had a white man's foot in his mouth. I'm never forgiving him for that shit. But I do think that it's he got flack for it and he feels like he shouldn't. And so he keeps hammering home the point that he can say what he wants. He can talk about whatever and it's comedy and don't censor me and let me be and you can't cancel me. Every time he starts with it, I'm just like, why do you insist on this? Like, it's not even really funny. It's very sophomoric and he's so far more advanced than that. I just wish he would you don't have to do anything more. Literally do less. I also will say this. I cried. I boo-hooed at the end of his documentary. He's playing a Stevie Wonder song, The Joy Inside My Tears. He dedicates the whole special to D'Angelo. He has a picture of D'Angelo who recently passed. I was a mess. I was a sniveling mess as the credits rolled. I really like Dave Chappelle. I just wish he would stop with the trans shit. Your girl, because I can't claim her, Nicki Minaj, she's taken up with the MAGA people. Like she had implied it before, like when she went to speak to, was it the United Nations on behalf of the administration about Christians being persecuted in Nigeria. And I was like, girl, what? Which America also bombed Nigeria. I'm still not quite sure what that was about. Because I was like, you don't care about the Black American Christians in your own country, but you care about some African Christians on the other side of the world? They got oil too? That don't make no sense. You don't like Black people in general. I believe Nigeria was one of the places he referred to as a shithole country. You don't give two shits about Nigeria. Why are you trying to quote and unquote save the Christians from the terrorists? What? Everything done in the dark comes to the light. But I was like, can we get this to the light sooner than later? Because I'm very befuddled about exactly what's going on. It doesn't make sense. They just be lying. Just dumb lies, like childlike lies. Did you draw on the wall? No, I didn't draw on the wall. Who drew on the wall? My invisible friend. That's the type of shit they be on. But your girl took up with the MAGA people. Uh, it was a 3 to 4 day discussion about like, oh my God, I can't believe Nicki Minaj. Can you really not? Can you? You can't? Really? It's shocking to you? Why? At the point that she married a known, like literally the man has to register as a sex offender. He is a convicted sex offender. Not only did she marry the convicted sex offender who has to register as a sex offender, she also defends him all the time. But the woman he was convicted of raping, like allegedly Nicki Minaj was contacting that woman and trying to get her to recant. She don't have good judgment. So the idea that she went and now she's like palling around with MAGA, people are like, oh my God, I can't believe. Could you really not? There's no boundaries. I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that. She gonna do some crazy shit after this too. I mean, more crazy shit. It's not like, she married the sex offender and then like, there was no crazy shit in between and then she just popped out. Like, no, it's been consistent crazy shit for years. Like the meltdowns online, the railing at Hove, the her back and forth with Meg, back and forth with Cardi, back and forth with every woman rapper ever. That's your girl. I've always been team Cardi. Just for the record, since we're having a Cardi discussion, I like Cardi. I do. I want the best for Cardi. I do. We've talked about Cardi and Offset and her marital woes, and she's trying to get away from him. Apparently, he won't file the divorce papers. He wants her to pay his legal fees. She wants him to pay, or he wants her, correction, to pay him alimony. He wants like half. I just, sir, after all the shit you put that lady through, but apparently he got back tax issues. Cardi has recently had a baby with NFL player Steffon Diggs. Steffon Diggs had about 3 children that we know of in the same year. Cardi is his official girlfriend. He wasn't able to spend the holidays with Cardi and their new baby together, like literally their newborn, because he had to be with his other newborns. Steffon Diggs, he was recently sued by a woman. I don't remember all the details of that. She said he hit her, he intimidated her. Then there's another guy who says he drugged him, groped him, like grabbed his penis. Details are not important here. The important part, the point I want to make, Cardi has been outwardly, actively, vehemently, persistently defending Steffon Diggs, more so than I've even heard the man defend himself. Cardi's also posting screenshots. She reached out to the woman who filed the lawsuit against Steffon, and she's posting screenshots of her conversation with the woman. The woman says, I think I never said he hit me or something like that. And she was like, it's been misconstrued, something like that. So Cardi posted that in defense of Steffon. And I think Tasha K is the one who also pointed out and was like, hey, that's not legal. Like she has an active lawsuit. You're reaching out on his behalf. That's called witness tampering. She has a point. I want Cardi to stop talking about Steffon Diggs because he's in some bullshit. His shit is consistently messy between like all the kids and then like the different accusations, lawsuits, all of those things. She's taking on his mess, and I understand he's the father of her child, her fourth child. He's also a grown ass man with a really good income who can hire lawyers and who can hire his own crisis publicist so that Cardi doesn't have to run around defending him. Like, ma'am, you have built an incredible life, income, brand for yourself over the last few years. She posted the other day, she was like, January 1st, like I start training. I have to leave my kids. I have to start training for this tour. Focus and lock in on your tour and the money that you're about to make and your newborn baby. You have enough on your plate without running around the internet trying to defend someone who is fully capable of defending themselves or hiring professionals to do the job for him who can't be bothered to do so. You focus on you. Focus on you. Focus on you want to be in a relationship with him. That's your business. But you're muddying your brand trying to tie your good name with his crazy shit. I'll add this too. The only person you can 100% vouch for is you. I know for sure what I have done and what I have not done. I've seen, and you have too, over the years, men be accused of something, and then a woman jumps out in front of it and was like, my friend would never, my husband would never, my boyfriend, my fiance, my brother would never. And then somebody comes with like clear cut evidence, or the person be like, so yeah, the shit they said I did. It's the circumstantial. What had happened was people will be more upset with the woman who defended them than the man that did the dumb shit. I could name you several examples of it. Unfortunately, the first one pops in my head is a friend of mine. He would never. That's my friend. He's a really great guy. He would never. And then literally the next day, he was like, so that happened. Yeah. But let me explain. Nigga, I don't want Cardi caught up in that same shit. I wish she would just stop and just focus on her work, her good work, and give us a great tour because I'll probably buy tickets. There are several lawsuits. I just don't feel like reading them. When I say I don't feel like reading them, I don't feel like reading them on camera. We can go through them though. The Drake lawsuit, I don't even fully understand that lawsuit. There's a, what is it called? There's a class action lawsuit against Drake that alleges he's violated RICO? RICO! Which I was like, wait, what? It's confusing. And I read the whole thing and I was like, I still was like, what? Drake is the front man, as in like paid person to endorse this gambling business, which isn't supposed to be actually gambling. Like the site that it was actually found to be illegal, but they changed the name of it. And the allegation is that they're operating, doing the exact same shit that was deemed illegal. They're just doing it under a different name. They're paying Drake, and I had to read this number because I was like, they're paying him 10 million? They're paying him $100 million. Is this annually? To endorse this site. So the allegation, if I understand it correctly, and I'm not sure that I do, the allegation is Drake is the front person for this business. He does these streams where he's pretending that he's gambling or gambling, but he's not actually using his own money. He's using money or credits that were provided by the business that endorses him. And then the allegation is there's a way to flip the kind of like the fun money into cryptocurrency and real money. And that Drake and the people he works with are paying bots to elevate Drake's music. So if this sounds like, why is this something I should care about? Personally, I really don't. But the irony here and why the lawsuit is like kind of making the rounds as it is, well, one, because it's like Drake's being sued, but then also it's very similar to what he accused Universal of doing with Kendrick. Remember, he sued and was like, well, this song couldn't have been possibly this popular. Like, they must have been using bots. Like, it says that this song was downloaded so many times. That's got to be statistically impossible. What he accused Kendrick of doing is kind of what this lawsuit is saying that Drake was doing. So it's like you're pointing the finger over here so people won't look at the shit you were doing. Very Trumpian, if you will. Will Smith has also been sued. A lot of people got sued in like the last like 3 weeks. That lawsuit, I also read that one. I had to read it twice because I was like, is there a page missing? So there was a guy who was a violinist and he went on tour with Will Smith. Remember last year he dropped a new rap album? He went on tour for the album. This guy played the violin. He says that he and Will became very close. And he says at one point, Will said to him that he really enjoyed his conversations and he felt that this guy and their conversations was more special than the conversations he has with other people. Special is the operative word here. This guy is suing Will Smith for sexual harassment and wrongful termination. The guy is on tour with Will Smith. He says that the production company that Will Smith has doing his tours would give everyone a spreadsheet of their hotel room assignment when they were traveling. So he says they got to the hotel. He said his bag was missing. Nobody could find it for like 2 hours. They finally find his bag. In the lawsuit, he doesn't say anything was missing from his bag. He says he checks into his hotel room and he said it's very clear that somebody else had been in his room. He says there is discharge paperwork from the hospital. He says there's HIV medication. He says there's a backpack, some other miscellaneous items in the room, and that there's also a letter. And the letter says something like, be back soon. It'll be just us. And either like a smiley face or a heart or something like that. And the letter says, like, his name is Brian. It says, like, Dear Brian. So it's very clearly addressed to him. And so he was very confused. He contacted the management company. He contacted the hotel. He says, I feel like someone's been in my room. He sort of implies that Will Smith wrote the letter. The person who wrote the letter signs it as like Stone F, which I was like, huh? It also, he was like, huh? Because he was like, nobody on the tour has that name. Like, it's clearly somebody's alias. The lawsuit tries to draw a connection between Will Smith telling the guy, I feel like we have like good rapport. I feel like we have a special relationship. I really enjoy your company. You're special to me. Something like that. But they try to draw that parallel between that conversation and then the letter that's in this guy's room. So he reports it to the hotel. He reports it to the tour company. I do believe they move him to another room. I don't think that's really clear in the lawsuit either. Because again, I was like, huh? For the next tour date, they're like, no, we don't need you. Like, it's all good. And then he's fired from the tour. And he was like, so, huh? Like, what happened? And they're like, yeah, like, so why would you lie about that hotel room? Like, why would you say that happened when that clearly didn't happen? And he was like, but it did happen. And I reported it to the hotel. I reported it to you all. Like, why would they make that up? And they were just like, yeah, no. So no more tour for you. So the guy was upset because he was like, I planned for this tour. Like, I had to purchase a bunch of things to prepare for this tour. I spent a lot of money thinking that I was going to make the money back because I'm working. And now you fired me and like I didn't do anything wrong and like someone sexually harassed me. But I was like, is that sexual harassment? People keep talking about this lawsuit and several people have said it to me and they were like, oh, because like the condoms are what make it like clear sexual harassment. Like somebody left the condom so in the HIV medication, so clearly like there's a plan to have sex. And I was like, there's no condoms mentioned in this lawsuit. Like so many people kept talking about condoms. I went back and read the lawsuit and I was like, there's no mention of condoms in the lawsuit. The only thing that could remotely be considered like the just us, like why is someone in my hotel room saying they'll come back and it could be just us? Like I understand the confusion, but it sounds like something very weird, something very odd, something very creepy, something that could be scary. I totally get why you'd be freaked out that you're checking into a hotel room. Somebody's written a letter that's addressed to you. Like, that's very strange. But I was like, is it sexual harassment? That wouldn't be the first thing that popped in my head. But apparently, this guy, it is. So he's suing Will Smith. Tyler Perry is also being sued. again for about the same shit that he was sued for last time. I think the guy was at the gym and somebody came up to him. Somebody who works for Tyler Perry came up to him and was like, "Hey, you look like the kind of guy that Tyler Perry would want to be casting in some of his films. Would you like to meet him?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, sure, of course." And then he meets Tyler Perry, and according to the allegations in the lawsuit, Tyler Perry hits on him and makes a move, and the guy's like, "Nah, not what I do. Like, I'm interested in the movies, I'm interested in the acting work, but I'm not interested in you." There were at least, according to the lawsuit, 4 or 5 times that the man went to hang out with Tyler Perry and Tyler Perry was inappropriate with him. 2 of the times he says Tyler Perry groped him, pressed himself up against him. And he says Tyler Perry felt really bad about it the next day. I'm just telling you what's in the lawsuit. These are all allegations. Don't sue me. He says Tyler Perry gave him $5,000 on 2 of the occasions as an apology for things getting out of hand. He actually did put him in a movie. He kept dangling the idea of like, well, you could be in the sequel, and I'm working on some other shows, and these are also things that you could be a part of, and blah, blah, blah. So he was like, I was really interested in doing that. He said Tyler Perry explicitly told him on at least 2 occasions, he was like, I could, basically change your life. You could not want for anything. Like, I would take care of you if you would just like, give in and let yourself be with me. The guy is suing Tyler Perry, I want to say for 77 million American USD dollars and dineros. Obviously, he's hoping he'll settle. I would imagine that this young man's lawyers reached out to Tyler Perry already, and they were like, nope, not settling, which is how we ended up knowing about the lawsuit. It ends up getting filed. It becomes part of the public record, blah, 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 blah. Tyler Perry's lawyers vehemently deny this accusation, all the accusations in the lawsuit. They say the guy just wants money. They released some text messages of the guy asking Tyler Perry, saying like, I hate to come to you for this, but like I'm really in a bind, and I think he needed something for his car. I think that's what he was asking about. But they were like, see, here's evidence that he wanted Tyler Perry's money. Tyler Perry wouldn't give him any money, so this is his money grab situation. Could be, could not be. For some reason, I don't think this will be the last person to file a lawsuit. This guy, I will give him this. Tyler Perry got to be like the most Texanist mofo ever. This gentleman also has tons of text messages from Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry like blowing up his phone, basically begging for his attention. And keep in mind, Tyler Perry is his boss, like the big boss. Like he owns the whole studio. He's not just like the director, or like he owns the whole thing. Like he literally cuts everybody's check. Your boss blowing up your phone and talking to you about how good you look and all that stuff. Like it's clear cut sexual harassment. That's clear cut. Like the Will Smith thing, unclear. But this, maybe people would take it more seriously. I mean, not really, because people don't give a shit about what happens to women. Wasn't there another? Oh, your boy, Donnie McClurkin, pray the gay away. A young man who was literally a young man. He wasn't a boy. If you infamously remember, Donnie McClurkin said that he was gay and he prayed the gay away. Like he had cured himself from the sin of homosexuality, which I was like, so this guy reaches out like, you prayed your gay away, and like I too am a Christian man and I would like to pray my gay away too. Maybe I need to pull this one up. I'm going to read this one from the LA Times. It says McClurkin, 66, faces allegations of sexual assault, sexual battery, and more in a civil lawsuit filed Friday, New York County Supreme Court. It says the singer's accuser accuses McClurkin of sexually assaulting him numerous times from the start of his employment in 2004 to 2015. And the complaint also includes an alleged email from the singer, that would be McClurkin, where he apologizes for his actions, and he writes, quote, I am the actual epitome of a desperate, dirty old man. It is worth noting, because I ain't trying to get sued, that Donnie McClurkin, legal representative, says the allegations are categorically false. Scrolling down, okay, we're getting into details. It says the young man, Corletto, is he black? The dude who accused Tyler Perry, neither one of them, the first one or the second one. Well, that's not true. The second and the third one. The two who filed the lawsuits, neither one of them are black. I think this last one, Latino? Cute, cute, cute. He got good taste, allegedly. It says the lawsuit claims that Corletto was 21 years old, struggling with his sexuality. He sought guidance from the Grammy winner who hired him as a personal assistant. So that adds another layer, similar to the Tyler Perry situation. Like, so now the person is your boss. So now it's sexual harassment on top of everything else. It says the two men developed a mentor-mentee relationship and engaged in, quote, pray the gay away spiritual sessions. It says during this time, McClurkin groped plaintiff's genitals without consent, set up scenarios between young Corletto and other men, and framed them as, quote, tests from God. This is some sick shit, allegedly. It says in 2007, artist allegedly sexually assaulted Corletto in a hotel room, forcing Corletto to engage in anal sex. It says the singer further manipulated plaintiff, that would be Corletto, blaming him for the incident and convincing him that he was the sole culpable party. The complaint details additional accounts of alleged sexual assault from 2007 to 2008. He told his assistant that his deliverance and purpose were tied to him being pastor. The complaint adds Corletto told several church staff members of the alleged sexual assault, but no action was taken. He says McClurkin assaulted him again in 2012. He says McClurkin learned of his former employee's location through one of Corletto's friends and appeared at his hotel room. He said he needed to talk. Corletto reluctantly agreed to let him in. And then inside the hotel room, it says McClurkin allegedly begged plaintiff to have sex with him one last time. Corletto refused. Corletto alleges he woke up to find McClurkin. Why did he go to sleep? Not victim blaming, just asking a question. Corletto alleges he woke up to find McClurkin masturbating and touching his body before the singer forced himself again onto Corletto and raped his former employee. Not them having a link to Tyler Perry's sexual assault lawsuit in the middle of the article. That shady Los Angeles Times. Corletto returned to McClurkin Church in the summer of 2013, and he joined the singer on a trip to Niagara Falls. Why? McClurkin allegedly sexually assaulted Corletto again, and days later sent the email apologizing for his action. That's what the screenshot in the lawsuit is. In this email, he refers to himself as, quote, a desperate, dirty old man, but he also adds, quote, I forced myself on you, groping you, and when I think about it, you never touched me like that at all. It says 2 years after McClurkin sent the alleged email, Corletto returned to the singer's church amid his struggles with mental health. The lawsuit claims McClurkin engaged in further sexual misconduct, taking advantage of plaintiff's vulnerability and current fragile mental state. It says Corletto sustained injury, emotional distress, physical pain, emotional pain, and suffering, and loss of enjoyment of life. Oh, he's seeking a big check. Okay. He seeks a jury trial, an unspecified amount in compensatory damages, plus his legal fees and additional damages. Oh dear. I'll be honest. The type of person who runs around telling people that they pray the gay away, you lie. We know you lie. Let's see what happens with the lawsuit. We'll be watching. We'll be paying close attention to this one. In addition to like all the others, because apparently everybody and their mama getting sued. Not all men. Somehow, very often, more often than it is a woman. When it comes to weird sexual assault lawsuits, so often a man. Last but not least, there have been several women in the news as of late who their attire has been unduly critiqued. There's Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. She wore a revealing I think that's a safe word. Dress to go to, is it the Jeezy Ball? Is that what it's called? A nice, respectable affair. Everyone else had on proper gowns. She had on what looked like beach attire. There is another Dr. Bryant. Before I do that, she is a prolific speaker. She is a professor. She has a doctorate in ministry, I believe. She is also married to Reverend Jamal Bryant. I want to make sure that I make a clear distinction with that she is her own person who also is married to someone who happens to be a well-known public figure. The other person is Rama Dawaji. She is married to the new mayor of New York City, Zohran Mamdani. She's an artist, an illustrator. She has her own career. She has her own job. She is not just an extension of her husband. Each of these three women over the last 2 weeks have been put through the ringer about essentially, on the surface, their fashion choices. Rama wore a pair of $600 boots to her husband's inauguration. No one has mentioned his outfit in any way whatsoever. He had on a suit. That suit could have been Tom Ford. It could have been Gucci. It could be thousands of dollars. It could be a custom made suit. No one's mentioned his suit, like not one time. Zohran Mamdani is a democratic socialist. People, for whatever reason, think that he's taken some vow of poverty and that his wife should have shown up to her husband's inauguration as the mayor of New York City in, like, I don't know, like some little Payless shoes. She's a working artist, illustrator. She's successful at what she does. She has a job. She has an income. Her husband's last job before becoming mayor of New York City, his salary was something like around like the 140,000 mark. He can afford $600 shoes for his wife should he so choose. There's no reason that if she wanted to have $600 shoes that she shouldn't have them. There seems to be some idea that like Zohran Mamdani is promoting poverty for all. Like he wants free buses for all. He wants affordable living for all. But he's never said poverty for all. Like the man didn't take a vow of poverty. He didn't take a vow of cheapness either. I don't understand why the woman can't have $600 shoes. Although, this is a matter of point, she doesn't actually have $600 shoes. She was wearing them, yes, on loan because she has a stylist. Because she is the first lady of New York City, she should show up looking like something. The criticism about her shoes is not really about the shoes. It's partially because she's not a white woman and they don't feel like, anybody other than white people should have money enough to buy something decent and nice for themselves. They don't really give two shits about her $600 shoes. It's a way to signal to other women that there's a cap on what you should want. You know what? We'll tell you what's enough for you. You don't determine that, but there's a threshold and you've gone beyond it. And so you need to stay in your place, in a small place, in a place that can't afford $600 shoes. It also is a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of how she got it and I don't got it, especially for the white folks that are bitching about it. Because if you get up to go to work every day, you're busting your ass for sure. You get up and your wife gets up and y'all can barely afford whatever it is that you want. And here go this non-white lady and her non-white husband, and now they're like the face of New York City, and they can afford to have the wife in $600 shoes. Well, why don't I have $600 shoes? How she get that, but I don't got that? Men go spend tons of money on sports cars and tickets to sporting events. You want to sit like in the best seats possible. You want to go to like the playoffs. You want to go to the Sweet 16. You want to go to the Super Bowl. You want to go to, I don't know, the big golf tournaments, right? Because that's like something that men are into. I want the, I don't know, the tools, the barbecue grill, the whatever crazy shit men are into, like the bike, the fishing rod, right? Like it makes sense to you because those are things that you value. And so you don't have a value for shoes or hair or makeup or things that, are more typical women's things. And so it's just like, well, why would you spend all this money on that? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like there's so much wrapped up in the conversations about this woman and her shoes. It has nothing to do with really her or her shoes. She's just the face of it. And it's very similar in the same way to what's going on with like Dr. Carri and people talking about this dress that she wore, not to church, but to the mayor's ball in Atlanta. I saw a picture of her and her husband at the ball before all the brouhaha about it, before everything blew up, before a fellow bishop called her, he tried to make a distinction. He said Jamal Bryant, because Jamal Bryant addressed the backlash in from the pulpit, and he said that, I bought the dress, I liked the dress, she wanted to wear the dress, I didn't have a problem with my wife in the dress, and if your wife don't look, I mean, he did too much, but he defended his wife. He said some things he shouldn't have said, but I think his intent was in the right place to defend his wife, who really had been raked over the coals so undeservedly. But a bishop responded and to talk about the dress, and I was like, we've been talking about this dress for like literally like over a week now. Are you serious? He was a bishop, an old man. He addressed Jamal Bryant and his wife and the dress from his own pulpit, and he said that Jamal Bryant, by buying the dress for his wife and allowing her to come out as she did, that he presented his wife like a $2 whore. That's a quote. He literally he made a distinction. He said, I'm not calling her a $2 whore. I'm saying her husband presented her as such. And I was like, the distinction you trying to make about your distinction ain't distinct enough. Because it sounds, even with you're trying to like, parse the words, you still referring to the lady as a $2 whore. And I was like, pussy ain't been $2. I don't know the last time you was buying it, but it ain't been $2 since like somewhere around the 80s. That was like crack pussy. And when was the last time you saw a whore in an evening gown? I saw the dress. I thought the dress was beautiful. I think she's a beautiful woman. I think she's got a great shape. I think her hair was great. I think her face was great. I thought she and her husband, when folks they step out, you're like, oh, clean, looking clean, boy, the hell, clean. Like that's what I thought when I saw it. Like they looked like a really stunning couple. In general, I think that they are a strong match for one another. Like I've said many times over the years, I've had open criticism of Jamal Bryant. I will never forgive him for that hoes ain't loyal from the pulpit, which, now that I'm saying that out loud, strikes me very, it's not quite Alanis Morissette ironic. I think it's just more of like a boomerang karma situation. But it was like you at one point were referring to women in your pulpit as hoes. And now fast forward, like what, 10, 15 years later, someone is now referring to your wife as one. I don't know if he ever had to be fully accountable for referring to women as hoes from the pulpit, but now, like, kind of how your congregants and other women in the faith, or just, other women who are not in the faith but heard you refer to women as hoes. Now you kind of understand how women might have felt, because now it's literally chickens coming home to roost. Like, just for clarity, I don't think the woman's a $2 whore. I think she's actually quite lovely. She blocked me. I don't know when, but she blocked me on social media. I went to follow her page, maybe like not a couple months, maybe like a month at that. Jamal Bryant was doing something in church that had to do with finance, money. He asked the congregation, he said, put your hand on your commerce, like on your wallet, on your pocketbook, on wherever you keep your money. Put your hand on your commerce. So she's standing there holding his hand, and you can see like the wheels start spinning in her head. And then she reaches over and she puts her hand like on his chest and like gives a little rub and a pat, because he's her commerce. Like that's her husband. Like he provides. Like that's her man. My man, my man, my man, my man, my man. And Jamal Bryant got so flustered by that, like he forgot what he was saying or whatever. He was just so tickled at his wife, and then she just laughed and laughed, and she has like this big, big laugh. And I was like, oh, she's absolutely lovely, and she's time enough for him, because well, we don't need to go into that. That's the past, and he's been acting a lot better. His disposition, you could tell, has changed. I see an active intent up for growth with him. He's still who he is. He going. We don't need to go there. I see a desire to change. I often say there is grace for those that seek it. I see him as someone who is seeking growth and perhaps grace. I want to acknowledge that. But I have ripped him over the years. And when I heard he was engaged, this is some years ago, I went to look to see, and I was like, well, who is this woman? I don't know anything about her. Like, who is crazy enough to take up with Jamal Bryant? I Googled her, and I found several clips of her speaking. And she was talking about dating and relationships and self-worth. She was talking to a group of women. She's a very powerful speaker. She's going to be on Tamron Hall tomorrow. And even in the clip that's circulating online, like you could tell that she's She has a presence. She's a very powerful woman. And her husband sitting right beside her. I ain't never seen Jamal Bryant that quiet in my entire life. Ever. She time enough for him, and I like it lots. So I saw videos of her speaking and the things that she was saying and her powerful presentation and presence. And I was like, she seemed like she got a lot of good sense. And I think I wrote this. I did. I understand why she blocked me. Like, I kind of deserved it. But I said, like, this lady seemed like she got like a good head on her shoulders. She got good sense. She's a pretty lady. She got a lot going for her. What the fuck is she engaged to Jamal Bryant? I wasn't the only person who thought it. I wasn't the only person who said it. I'm sure I'm not the only person she blocked. It's fine. It's fine. And still, she don't fuck with me, and I completely understand why. And still, I ride for her because I'm like, what's happening to her is wrong. People have been talking about her in this dress for over a week now. I just told you what the bishop said about her. People have said that and perhaps worse online. You would think that that lady showed up dressed like a Luke dancer. You would think that she showed up in the pulpit dressed like Dr. Cheyenne Bryant had showed up to the Jeezy Ball. Didn't love the outfit. Didn't necessarily think it was appropriate. Respect her right to wear it. We still gonna talk about her. The dress, you couldn't see anything. It has nude paneling. It gives the illusion, but you can clearly see that you can't see anything. It's not like she's walking around with like her areola out. Like you could see that you can't see anything. It's a beautiful dress. It's an expensive dress. The idea to just the $2 whore would pop in someone's head and that you actually say it out loud is insane to me. Like even if you didn't like the dress, like you could look at the dress and tell like good money was spent on it. I looked at the dress and the first thing I thought of was like, I don't wanna be alone tonight. Oh, from School Days. Like Tisha Campbell and Jasmine Guy, like that's what popped in my head. That's what the dress reminded me of. Like the fishtail situation at the bottom. She looked fabulous. I don't have an issue if people want to critique whether they like the dress. She wore the dress. She's a public figure. Come to the territory. Okay. I don't have an issue if people want to have a conversation about whether the dress is inappropriate for a Christian woman. The Bible does speak of modesty. I would not necessarily describe the dress as modest, but I also wouldn't describe the dress as pornographic. I don't really think it was inappropriate. Had she worn it to church, I'd be like, hey, now you're doing a lot. She was on a date with her husband. I understand that he's like a pastor. In the clip that's circulating now, what's going to air on Tamron Hall in the morning, Dr. Karri, it talks about, like I was a woman in my own right. I had my own life. I had my own career. And she was like, and I fell in love with and married someone who was a pastor. And I became the first lady of the church. And she was like, there's no one way to be a first lady. Like I bring myself to the role and this is who I am. It's so unnecessary that she would even have to justify it. What I take issue with people saying about her, in addition to the name calling, is she is an accomplished woman. She is a smart woman. She hasn't done anything to deserve the level of dragging that she's getting. Like this level of vitriol is usually reserved for someone who like lied to a man saying that the child was his when it wasn't. A vitriol reserved for someone who's accused someone of sexual assault or rape, but it didn't really happen. They lied on them. Like something like really, really, really egregious like that. Not someone who wore a dress that you didn't like. So now, like, you're assaulting her character. You're calling her a whore because she wore a dress that you didn't like. It's not about the dress. In the same way that people are talking about Rama's shoes and they're talking about how much they cost, the criticism for Dr. Karri, she is, like I said, she's a powerful woman with a big presence. And I think a lot of the criticism that is coming toward her is you don't want women to think so highly of themselves. But she's just confidence and boobs and hips and hair. And people could be like, oh, she's inspiring men to lust. You're a man. You're supposed to lead. Like, lead yourself away from lust. Like, control yourself. Stop putting this responsibility for your lust, which I really think it had a lot to do with, like, because that bishop, it was such a nasty thing to say. And I was like, you probably looked at that lady and wished you could still get it up. That's not her fault. That's your fault. Last but not least, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, banging body. I think if she wore that to the club, carry on. I think wearing it to a ball, and you could see like the other people who were at the ball, like it just wasn't that type of vibe. I think the same thing that I just said about Dr. Karri, she wore a dress that people didn't like on an occasion. People have used her clothing or lack thereof at this one event as a way to discredit all of her education, all of the advice that she has given. And I don't think that's fair to her. I think that she is one of those people, and there's nothing wrong with this, who likes attention. Again, nothing wrong with it. I think she has gotten more publicity off of wearing that dress than she has with all three of those major interviews combined. She's been doing a bunch of different interviews. Like I first paid attention to her on she did Nick Cannon, actually. It's before Cam Newton. She did Nick Cannon and she basically told him about himself. And, Nick Cannon was like, okay, I get it. And then it's Nick Cannon, whatever. And then she went to talk to Cam Newton. That was like talking to a hole in the wall. And I was like, she said good things, but I was like, you're wasting your breath, sweetheart. Like you could have a V8. And then she went to talk to Shannon Sharp. Like she's actively hopscotching, building her brand, building her presence bigger and bigger. I don't know what her ambitions are, but you can tell that she's an ambitious woman. Everybody knows her name. You may not know her name positively. You may know her name as like, God damn, she got that body. I don't particularly think she cares one way or another. I think she wants people to know her name. If you're trying to get somewhere in entertainment, if you're trying to get your own TV show, I think that's what she's after. You're trying to get a book deal. You're trying to do anything with a point of sale. People having a familiarity with your name, good, bad, or indifferent, it opens doors. Meghan Markle, so many people hate Meghan Markle, but they tune in to hate on Meghan Markle. So when she does her Netflix shows, people are like, oh my God, I hate her, I hate her, I hate her. But the show goes to #1 and all her stuff sells out. People are like, oh my God, her and that damn jam, it's so dumb. But the damn jam sells out. I think Cheyenne Bryant, I think the only real misstep with her in that dress, there was no immediate point of sale when everybody was talking her name. If she's not working on a workout video or at least some workout clothes, I'm disappointed in your hustle, sis. Lingerie line, I'm just saying. Swimwear, something. It makes sense, no? I think so. A little bit of housekeeping. We have open seats for the next Cape Town trip. That's the one in March. I think there are 5 seats left. I've been talking about it for a while. They are on sale until January 10th. So if you are watching this video, it's before January 10th. If you want to come on the Cape Town trip, you can shoot me an email via my website, demetriallucas.com, seesomeworld.com. All goes to the same place. But there are openings for that trip. We also have openings for the Ghana trip. We have a bigger bus now. We have space for more people. But the Cape Town trip, I think, is it March 3rd to 12th? And then also the Ghana trip. It's over Easter weekend, which is a really good time to be in Ghana. Shoot me an email via my website and I'll get you the information and maybe you can come hang out. I think that's not everything, never everything, never ever everything, but that's what we got. So thank you for watching, listening to Ratchet and Respectable, and we'll be back with better tape for my green screen next week. I think. We'll see. Okay, bye.